Well, hello, and welcome to Crystal Rise of Crystal Phoenix and Life Talks. So today I have a very special guest with me, my friend Dalton Hyle, who wrote a book, Escaping the Vegetable Garden. Now, this is the first time I am doing a interview in real life with the person sitting next to me, so this ought to be interesting. Um, this is the book that we are talking about. And well, I'm going to welcome Dalton to the stage um, since he is sitting right next to me and all. And, get the conversation going since I'm not used to this. It's going to be kind of interesting. So, Dalton, first off, what and of course, technical difficulties. There we go. My camera likes to, just act on its own free will here. What was the, drive to writing this book? What happened?
I think to me, more than anything, unfortunately, brain trauma is something that's not heavily talked about in the public. And so seeing younger people struggle through something that I went through personally made me want to at least share my experience, right, wrong, or indifferent, that people can look to as a guideline of things, of how long it's going to take, the emotions you're going to feel, the situation you're going to go through, and then also having the input from my parents and my family and people around me for what they went through. So you get all sides of what the person's going through, the person that you don't know how to talk to in that scenario. You don't know what to bring up, how to talk to them. And so that was kind of the goal of it.
And okay, now a lot of you know that, my platform is all about, mental health. And in fact, the last book that I was just in was, we choose not to be more than our diagnosis. And in fact, a couple of the writers in that book spoke about their own experiences with brain trauma and overcoming it. We all know healing is not linear, and overcoming that, the time frame can be different on everybody.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, your story brings back memories from a car accident that I was in, where the driver was in a coma for 6 months, and he was a really bright kid. And it actually left him disabled.
Really?
Like literally disabled to kind of like an autism way.
Yeah.
Almost. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Dina. My Glitter World. Thank you guys for coming and supporting. So tell us a little bit about the accident and what happened.
So I've always kind of been a daredevil by nature, and so I kind of always liked the action sports. Growing up, played every sport, did action sports, and just always after the next big thrill. And so we was snowboarding and sledding in some old mine ground, because around here where we're at now, there's a lot of old coal mines, and so we just thought it was cool to be in those old cool mines and sledding and going crazy with them.
We have a bunch of them right here in the backyard.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're all over this neck of the woods, and so we've been doing it for a couple days, and nothing bad had happened. But just in the blink of an eye, something that fast, and something bad can happen. And unfortunately, December 10th, the accident happens, and I don't wake up or remember anything until we get into February. So
sorry about the camera, guys. It's being weird, and I don't know how to fix it. It is a new camera. Very, very sorry about that, about how it keeps going in and out. Just putting that disclaimer out there right now. Sorry. It's not used to having me have somebody sitting next to me. So just putting it out there. No, this is not Matt. Lexi, this is my friend Dalton, who I will show the book one more time, wrote the book Escaping the Vegetable Garden. So So basically, you got into an accident,
Yep.
and how long were you unconscious?
I full on don't remember anything until February. So there's 2 months that are just completely gone. My birthday's in January, so that's pretty wild. 19th birthday out the window. And then it's spotty for a couple months after that, where there's bits here and there, but it really doesn't all come back for quite a while. They told my parents I was going to be a vegetable, and hence the title "Escaping the Vegetable Garden." So it was supposed to be a very bleak outcome, and here I am living my best life, writing a book.
Yeah. I mean, from what you've told me, now were you married to your wife before this happened or after?
No. Way later.
So how old were you when this happened?
I was 18.
Oh, wow. So you and Matt had just graduated.
Yep. I graduated in 09.
Yeah, because you were in
December of 09.
Yeah, you were in Matt's graduating class.
Yep. We graduate in 09, and then later on.
So he would have been, when this happened, possibly home from break, but this is when he was in Mizzou.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get a timeline for me.
Yeah.
Of when all this happened.
Yeah, I was in winter break from community college that I was going to, and just out here on the phone. And next thing you wake up, it's several months past.
Yeah, I like that comment, Brother Charles. Thank you. Doctor's diagnosis versus God's diagnosis.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
The doctor said you're going to be a vegetable, and you and God said no, I'm not. That's not happening. And it just shows just how strong-willed you were mentally to be able to overcome that. I mean, from what we've talked, I mean, I don't know if you run your own business from home or, but I know that you do have a business, you have a family.
Yep.
And everything, married to a nurse. You told me that she kind of helped with this.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, there's a lot of long-term lingering things with the brain injury that you don't realize. And so actually 10 years in, I started having seizures. And so that was the first time that, having young kids and everything, I at least wanted the story to kind of get out there. And then it took me 5 years of rewriting it, changing it, doing it over, throwing it away, starting over. Thinking, I'm not a writer, thinking, all right, I can't ever do this. Before I eventually was able to muster up, that.
I understand that struggle. Okay, the first time I wrote in a book, I didn't truly struggle, but that's because it was a weekend book. Like the claim to fame that the publisher, and she also writes in them, has is that she can help you write a chapter in a weekend. We publish a book in a week. And it worked. I'm a pressure writer. You give me 5 years and it'll never get published.
Well, that's what ultimately ended up happening here was
I will rewrite and I will rewrite so often that I will give up on the project. And so I will give myself a deadline.
Oh yeah.
And get it done. But I'm a pressure writer. Most of my best work is I wrote it the day before I was due to my publisher, and with minimal edits. And that's some of my best work. You give me a week and I'll rewrite it a million times, throw them all away. And the last one I write is what I do.
Oh yeah.
So, but I get you being discouraged. It took a lot of courage to write this,
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, the biggest thing is it's the ultimate vulnerability that you're opening yourself up to, And so that's why I wrote it in 3 days. I mean, like when I actually come down to sit down, it was when we went through that hot stretch and it was like 100 degrees outside and I couldn't do anything.
I get that.
And I was like, all right, I'm just going to hammer out this book. And so I just started over and knocked it out. And
you don't reread it once you do it.
No.
Because if you reread it, you second guess yourself.
Second guess, and there's things like, oh, I don't know if I should say that, if I shouldn't say that,
Especially knowing the town that you come from.
Yeah.
Knowing this area, especially. This took a lot of courage to write.
Oh, yeah. I mean, ultimately, I think the town in this area is a lot of the reason why I was able to overcome it as well. So it's also kind of back to that.
They are very, very supportive of their own.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like me working up at Kinfolks, Cindy is very supportive of my writing and my platform and everything. She even told me like tonight. I told her I was like, I got to be out of here by 6:10. I was like, I'm featuring Dalton on my channel. She's like, okay, close down the kitchen at 4. She's like, don't keep it up until 5.
Oh, yeah.
This way you're home in time. It's like, I help you support all your friends online. And it's like, you're damn right. I'm going to support one of my boys. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
He's one of the good guys around here. So absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Got to support our own. If I can support my community, and I love my online community, I know 4 different people that have already told me just by me telling them about the book, oh, I'm going to get it, because most of my platform really is a mental health platform.
Yeah.
And we're all about overcoming obstacles.
Yeah.
And overcoming a brain trauma like yours is hard to do. Like you were saying with the seizures. I get migraines from the same car accident I mentioned.
Yeah.
Because I was hit in the face by the airbag.
Okay. Yeah.
Looking at the driver.
Mm-hmm.
So I have permanent nerve damage in my neck. And also now a lot of you guys, I'm going to put out, trigger warning here. You guys know about my abusive relationship. I had 4 concussions in one weekend.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Matt, that weekend is actually one of the weekends that Matt literally saved my life.
Yeah.
But that has changed the brain chemistry in my mind.
Oh, yeah.
To where now I literally am on the spectrum because of it. That's brain trauma. And so I can understand where you're coming from with this, but instead of letting these things cripple me, like my car accident, your accident, and instead of letting them cripple us, we have overcome them. You're dealing with the seizures, but I know there's meds and things that can help with that.
Yeah, no, we figured it out. I mean, I've 34 and I've had 10 surgeries, so I've yeah. So
I mean, I know that your leg had been crushed also.
Yeah, broke wrist, broke this wrist 3 times, that wrist once, leg, broke a lot of stuff. But like I said, I like to live dangerously. So.
You remind me in a way of my father, which is a compliment, by the way. Right. He died. He was a pro-am racer for crotch rockets.
Okay.
Died on his bike, not his fault. Ironically, he was on his way to work, and it was a semi pulling out that hit. He couldn't lay down the bike. The semi never looked his way. Mm-hmm. But when he worked for the Coral Reef Research Vessel, he got scuba certified, did shark dives. He shot competition pistol. We were both on a paintball team. Any kind of adrenaline you could do.
Worst drug there is. Worst drug there is.
He was all for it. So yeah. I do get the adrenaline junkie vibe. My dad was very much so, and he convinced me to do some crazy stuff as a kid, like jumping off the top of the boat into the water.
Oh yeah.
And it was fun though. Mm-hmm. He would never endanger me, but that first jump, damn right, I was holding his hand. It's like, all right, Dad, you want me to do something crazy? First time I'm doing it, guess what? You're doing it with me.
Oh yeah.
But it does lead to accidents. I mean, my dad was always about the safety. Like he told me with the shark dives, he told me what you do. Mm-hmm. And growing up in South Florida, I would go snorkeling and things like that. So he told me, he's like, what I learned with the shark dives, when you're underwater and you see a shark coming, you back yourself up against a reef.
Okay.
and you deter if you can. But you put yourself as flush as you can if you see a shark coming because they can't turn the nose.
Oh, okay.
So within the adrenaline, he would also teach me how to protect myself.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Things like that.
There's safety precautions and everything.
Oh yeah. Motocross, all the dumb stuff you were doing that led to your accident. But you know what? Did you die? Almost.
Almost 3 times, but I mean, who's counting, right?
But at the same time, you're here to tell the tale. And no, to me, you're not a cautionary tale, honestly, because kids are still going to be dumb.
Oh, yeah.
Kids are still going to, but you also teach your kids, yeah, you can go out and you can do the adrenaline stuff, but make sure you wear the pads.
Yeah, I mean,
as a parent now,
yeah.
Looking back at the stuff that you did, have you looked at your mom and dad and said, I'm sorry?
Yeah. We've talked about stuff a lot, as far as that goes, Unfortunately, when you're 18 years old,
you think you are bulletproof and you know everything about everything and it don't matter.
Yeah. So that's a lot of the inspiration for this is the fact that, one of the leading causes of injuries of young men is traumatic injuries and traumatic brain injuries and things of that nature. And a lot of it just has to do with the fact that a young man thinks they're bulletproof. I did. Every young man does.
A phrase that my father always used to tell me to look out for about young men. And sorry, guys, if this offends, but he would look at me and he would just straight up tell me, he'd be like, guys are young, dumb, and full of cum. Beware.
Oh, yeah.
And the testosterone part kind of plays into that,
Oh, yeah. Well, and then you just, you recover fast. So even if you do get hurt, and, a couple months, you're back at it, and your third, you don't recover as fast. And so you got to kind of slow down on some stuff.
30s. Okay, I hit 40 and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, what's this? Your metabolism slows down, all of it. So when it came to the journey, how long do you think it took for you to, okay, wait a minute. All right. I was just flipping through the book and I came up to chapter 14 and the questions that you asked just made me giggle. I'm going to read this little excerpt that just caught me for a second. Okay. It is now 2025. It'll be 15 years this December. Maybe in another 15 years, I will release version 2. Well, knowing me, if you're going to do a part 2, it'll come out sooner. Anyway, will that version take place in a future with space aliens? Or maybe back to the Stone Ages? Will I have half a dozen grandchildren? Or maybe none? That's the fun thing about the future. By the time you're reading this, I could be long gone. How prophetic. That the questions that, the space aliens, that half a dozen grandchildren, that's what made me kind of giggle when I glanced at it. Because I have read it and everybody knows I have CRS. I can't remember shit except for things that stand out. But those questions are very, very true. That's the one good thing about writing a book. It will last long after we're gone.
Oh, man.
We're passing down our wisdom to people, not just in our generation and older generations, because let's face it, old people read too.
Oh, yeah.
But to the younger generations and, generations that are here to come to pass down this book and the wisdom that it comes from it, the hope that it comes from it. Hey, Chris, this is actually a book that you would really be interested in. Chris Monastrella, who just messaged saying hi, he is all about texting and driving for teens,
Okay.
and that for one reason. He was in a really bad car accident, and wound up having trauma, brain trauma, and physical trauma from his accident. So he talks a lot about awareness, not having kids texting and driving and road safety and things like that. So this book is right up that alley, because this is, like you said, you were young and dumb when you got into the accidents. You were doing stupid stuff. And you wound up, basically being in a coma for 2 months, and then lucid but not for multiple months later. And you overcame it slowly but surely. And so it does spread hope. And it spreads awareness that you can overcome despite what doctors say. Ironically, you are not your diagnosis.
Exactly.
It does really fit with that book that I was just in. Hey, Sheldon, he's another amazing author who talks about overcoming different things. Brother Charles, I'm so glad that you are here. Henry is an amazing person as well. Like a lot of people are saying this sounds interesting, making a lot of good comments about what we're talking about.
I think ultimately, the older that I get, the more you think back, right? And so
reflection is what we call that.
Yeah, for sure. And the big thing that you realize is, and this thought kind of why I want to do this now, is because in another 4 years, I will have lived with brain trauma longer than I would have without it.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, you kind of get to where obviously this is normal for me now, but in another 4 years, will I be as apt to give the details from where it was at? Luckily I wrote a lot of stuff down, and there's a lot of memories that I had from it all, and obviously a lot of that stuff lasts with you forever.
Yeah, but a lot of it also fades, and the fact that you documented a lot of it is a great thing. And
I wanted to be Jim Morrison, all right? So I was like out there like hammering out poetry and stuff. So I had these whole books full of poems, and I could do a whole book just of that. But it was fun to pick out the ones that really connected with me most when I thought about those times, and kind of include that into these, because some of them are awful. I mean, they're just awful poems, but they're what you're expecting a guy that's recovering from a brain injury to write, And so
but there's nothing wrong with that.
But that's what I want to show is like the first one. I when my wife first read it, she's like, "Oh, you can't put that in there." I'm like, "No, this is what's going to happen. The person's going to be immature. They're going to write about chicks and partying and just living it up, and it's going to be all about that kind of stuff." Because I'm in college, and there's this hot chick that sat just one row behind me, and I was like, man. So I had this whole poem as I'm recovering from this brain trauma about this chick, and I'm like, I got to put that in there.
Yep, and you even named the chick Lexi.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Not her real name.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, and she also wasn't from Texas, but I mean, hey, it's in there too. It rhymed, right? When you're recovering from a brain injury, you make words rhyme.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing. It's the same with songwriting, with any of it. So, guys, it's almost an hour, and he has a family to get home to, and I have supper to eat. But I wanted to say that as somebody who does understand how hard this can be, especially when, and don't take this the wrong way because it's actually a compliment, but being a good old boy, and the guys around here, you're all good old boys, and that's not an insult in any way.
No, proud redneck, so you can't say anything I don't know.
Okay. The fact that you sat down and did this, that you wanted to help other young people understand that Yeah, you may be young and dumb, but you can recover. Took a lot of strength and courage because it's not easy to write a book. It's not easy to pour your heart out, like you said. There's that fear of, rejection. There's all of that. And the fact that you did it and you had fun with it.
Oh, yeah, that's fun.
There's quite a bit of it that you literally make fun of yourself.
Oh yeah, that was the whole point. Yeah.
And that's a great thing because it's showing that you didn't lose yourself through the brain trauma. You are still kind of the class clown.
Oh yeah.
In a sense, and you did it and you put yourself out there, and it is a good book, guys. I will post the link on LinkedIn, Facebook, and on the YouTube channel for you guys. Please check it out. You'll get some laughs and hope for, overcoming.
And the part about the grandkids, all I'm saying is my kids seem to have that blood running through them. They like the drill injections. So hopefully it never ends up that way. Maybe some descendant will end up reading this and going, oh, well, that's my great-great-grandpa there. He wrote this, and now it's followed me.
Yep.
So weird things like that cross your brain when you're doing this. And that was the weird thoughts that ran through my head. And I just kind of put them in the book.
So I will say that I will be doing another author spotlight Wednesday at 11 CST with, for those of you on LinkedIn, you will know our wonderful friend Felipe. We will be actually talking to him about the backyard adventures of Miranda and Max's adventure. A kid's book, which, Felipe, great person. We all know that. So please join us for that on Wednesday morning before I go to work. Because, little Crystal went from having no job to 2 jobs this year. And, it's I'm still figuring it out, but we're getting it done. And I love that Brother Charlie taught triumph over trauma.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
That Brother Charlie, give me a thumbs up if I can steal that little phrase, because I really like that. I think I would like to use it. It is an amazing phrase, so I'm hoping that you don't mind me borrowing that. Yes, it can be a long recovery. Chris, you know how much I love you, and I will give you a call later. But on that note, it is just about 7:00, and I know that Dalton needs to get home to his children and wife because, I don't want his wife getting jealous.
No, she knew the whole thing. She even picked out my shirt for me. She's like, I guess so good with. She came up with the title of the book. I had some weird stuff, but
yeah, the shirt does actually fit. Grow food, not lawns. Escaping the vegetable garden. It does. It's very fitting. Whereas, me and my joke shirts, somebody's problem, and Matt ironically does have the shirt that says somebody, because we all know how much Matt teases me about all that stuff. But I love you guys, and I will see you Wednesday morning at 11 CST as we talk to Felipe about his journey into writing children's books, because, I'm going to be foraying into that. Hi, Izzy. I love the closing video that you made for me. I just have not implemented. It will be on my show on Wednesday. The beautiful Izzy Pop has taken the closing song that I had written for my lives and made a video. I just have not had the time to put it into my StreamYard and implement it yet. But Izzy, I promise you on Wednesday, it will be there. So Sheldon, thank you for coming. Peter, Chris, Brother Charlie, File 13, Henry, everybody, thank you all for coming. I love you all, and thank you for supporting and all of the, great comments that you have made, because talking about, overcoming brain trauma and recovery, it's, it is a thing, and, it is hard, And I am very satisfied with it, Izzy. Like I said, I just haven't had time to implement it yet. I love you. So I will see you guys all Tuesday morning. Much love. Thank you. And please support Dalton and check out his book if you found the content interesting. And I will see you Wednesday.
Thank you,
Bye.
And thank you.